Welcome back. Some indigents of Lao local government area in Taraba state have made a passionate appeal to both the federal and state governments to come to their aid in view of incessant killings and kidnappings in the area. They made the plea at a press briefing shortly after visiting the affected communities of the local government area to see what is left of the people's lives and livelihood.
Once a flourishing community known for agricultural production, Lao local government area in Taraba state has become a shadow of itself. Several attacks on communities left houses razed, farmlands destroyed, many people killed, and several others displaced and now taking refuge in settlement camps in Jalingo, the state capital. Residents of about 9 affected communities have come together to find solutions to the threat on their lives and livelihoods. The motive for the onslaught is not known, but some of the residents are certain that there is no religious coloration since people of different religions were kidnapped and released only upon payment of ransoms.
I cannot say it is religious only, but because it involves some of the Muslims brothers. It involves some of them because some of them were kidnapped. Presently, as I'm talking to you, one of my cousin brother, who is a Muslim, was also kidnapped on the 24th of, 24th, immediately after presidential election. He was kidnapped and he was released 2 days later after paying a ransom money for that. So I cannot say it is religiously motivated.
According to residents, the attackers often strike in late hours, taking residents unawares. The police, however, say more security personnel have been deployed to the area to forestall further attacks.
And at the moment, the situation in Lao is calm. We have been getting stable update from the operational men on ground there. And we do believe that the peace we have started recording there is going to be sustained.
Meanwhile, the state government is not taking any chances with letting displaced residents return to their communities until their safety is guaranteed.
The place is still not safe enough for the people to return. I know that they are angling to return. Yes, it is their homes, they will eventually get there, but there's a lot of work that the security people have to do before they can get back to the place. And the work is now in the court of the security people to provide enough security.
It's been 2 years since the attacks on Lao local government area started, and the indigents are appealing to authorities to bring the perpetrators to book and better secure the communities, especially as the rainy season is fast approaching, so they can return to their farmlands.
Indigents of Egbema community in Ohaja Egbema local government area of Imo State have protested the abandonment of federal government projects in the area, especially the Egbema power plant under construction. The protesters are giving the federal government a 2-week ultimatum to find a lasting solution to the abandoned power plant. Otherwise, they will shut down activities of all the oil companies operating in the community. Our correspondent, Pt.3, reports.
Egbema is one of the major communities that make up oil-rich Ohaji Egbema local government area of Imo State. Due to its huge gas and crude oil deposits, over 7 oil exploration companies operate in the community. In spite of its rich natural resources, Egbema wallows in abject poverty, underdevelopment, unemployment, and lack of basic infrastructure. Concerned about the lack of infrastructure and underdevelopment in the area, indigents of the community staged a protest to complain over the poor state and abandonment of the Egbema power plant, an NIPP which was initiated in 2006 under the Olusegun Obasanjo's administration.
Look around, you find that this project is not going on. It has been abandoned. And it's not the first of it that's abandoned here, a federal government project. If you go to the TTC, where the Scalation Center is going on, they have almost completed it, but then it's abandoned.
We have 6, 7 oil companies in this area. there's no light.
No light.
And we'll go after these people and say, what is happening?
No road.
No light, no roads, no human capital development. There's no life, no empowerment here.
So just like that, wasting.
Why will we not be restive?
The Egbema indigents also complain about the abandonment of a major bridge linking the community with other communities as well as neighboring river states.
I'm giving them 2 weeks.
When it elapses, what will need?
No, 2 weeks to look into this project and make it operational.
Well, how can you empower somebody whom you send for wedding training with that light? Who is deceiving who? We say enough is enough. It's either they come within the 2 weeks, the women of Adema, we will march to Abuja.
Hopefully, if all issues raised by these protesters from Egbema community is being addressed, it will go a long way to alleviate the sufferings of the people and make life more meaningful to people in this part of the world. Eyitope Kutei, Channels Television News.
We're staying in the region. Retired miners and leadership of the Miners Association of Nigeria in Enugu State are calling on the federal government to review the licenses issued to different companies to explore and mine different solid minerals in the state. According to the 2017 inventory of mineral titles from the Nigeria Mining Cadastre Office between 2005 and now, about 35 companies got different licenses to explore and mine in Enugu, but those activities are yet to begin. This report looks at the state of mining industry in the state. Our correspondent Nkiru Ajogu has the report.
Enugu, the coal city state in the southeast Nigeria that evolved and developed into a permanent cosmopolitan settlement following the discovery of coal in 1909. As coal mining activities increased, businesses and lives flourished, and governments at different levels enjoyed royalties accrued from the activities. However, with the discovery of oil in the 50s, the mining sector suffered a major blow, with the Railway and Electricity Corporation replacing its coal-burning engines with diesel-powered machines. Today, the Enugu mines are surrounded with thick bushes, flooded with water and vandalized structures. Lives and camps of those who worked at the mines have also experienced major setback.
They know we suffered when we were young, worked, drained our blood. Now we are dying. Our children equally living poorly. In fact, it's the duty of the government to take care of us.
In a bid to resuscitate this sector, the Obosi administration constituted a committee to produce a 7-year strategic plan for the development of solid minerals in Nigeria, a move that subsequently led to the issuance of licenses and leases to various companies to explore the minerals in Nigeria. In Enugu, 35 companies got the licenses to mine, and 28 out of them are to concentrate on coal, but since then, mining activities are yet to commence, a situation that bothers the Enugu state government. Who are the licensees and why are they not mining?
The opportunity have been tied down by some companies and individuals for speculation purposes. They are going around looking for people and making, or even turning around to give them a very stringent conditions that will not even enable them to be in acceptance of their condition to enable them to exploit.
What we discover from some of these investors are that, one, they try to raise money to acquire the license. When they acquire the license, they are not going to make use of the license. Practically, they simply wait for a serious investor that is a money bag, sell out the license and hands off, and take his own cut and move away.
We took a trip to one of the addresses as contained in this directory. We discovered that such company never existed there. Our efforts to reach other licensees at the time of filing this report also proved abortive. According to the state government, the last time they made contact with any of the licensees was in early 2016 when they assisted with the Community Development Agreement.
What is important to note about the Community Development Agreement is that what it does is to regulate how the social and economic benefit of that mining activity will flow to the community.
One one thing that stood out in the course of our interaction with these people is the need for the federal government to carry both the state and local government along to ensure that these licenses are given to only companies that have the capacity to mine. Again, there is need for a geoscience research and solid database that encourages active investors' participation, as well as enabling environment and key support infrastructures that will help the industry flourish. From Enugu, the Enugu state capital, Nkiru Ajogu, Channels Television News.
The ancient kingdom of Obosi in Indefinitely North local government area of Anambra State has wielded the big stake on the former Minister of Aviation, Osita Chidoka. A cabinet chief in the kingdom, alongside two other cabinet chiefs, Linus Makogu and Hyman Udemba, by suspending them indefinitely. The former minister was suspended from the royal cabinet of the kingdom for alleged acts of sacrilege and abomination. According to them, the accused persons allegedly committed the crime against the revered age-long custom of the people and the Obosi kingdom.
Once upon a time, in a kingdom not far away, laws were set up by the traditional council of chiefs to govern the land, with the objective of protecting culture and tradition. But recently, an unfortunate incident occurred where two young men of the land lost their lives during a political exercise. The alleged action taken by some chiefs in the wake of the deaths is now threatening to rip apart the fabric of Obosi Kingdom in Anambra State, southeast Nigeria. They're accused of desecrating the palace of the traditional ruler with the corpses, a move seen as a threat to the life of the king. An irate crowd has gathered at the palace to air their displeasure.
Never in the history of Obosi, never. This is the first of its kind. But being for the fact that our Igwe is a godly man, God protects him, he will not die.
They want Igwe to die. That is why they brought the corpse here. But we thank God that Igwe wasn't around.
The appearance of the king signals the commencement of the emergency meeting. And once all the title chiefs file in, the matter is raised.
These indices instructed that the corpses be offloaded and dumped at the Imobi, an insulting and dishonoring act, an abomination, Usana, of the gravest magnitude.
And thereafter, judgment pronounced.
After due consultations and deliberations with all relevant ancient traditional bodies of Obosi, the Igwe Council hereby announced the indefinite suspension from Igwe's royal cabinet of the above-mentioned Ndichi Obosi, Chief Osita Chidoka, Iko Obosi, Chief Linus Mbakaogo, Ata Obosi, and Chief Hyacinth Udemba, Akambosi Obosi, for their acts of sacrilege and abomination.
However, this title chief feels the penalty is too stiff. According to him, not all authorized members of the Council of Chiefs are present to deliberate on the issue.
There was never a time the king and the cabinet chiefs met since this incident happened. We have not been holding any meeting. So how can they come and say that the king and the cabinet chiefs have met and suspended these chiefs? We have not held any meeting at all.
So how best can this be resolved?
We have the concern of the traditions, and that's the people that have spoken now. And whatever they say is settled concerning the line.
Tradition is a critical piece of culture, as it forms the structure on which values are strengthened. So from this story, perhaps another means of settling this matter could be explored, and peace given a chance to thrive again in the kingdom of Obosi.